Hello. Let's continue playing Disco Elysium. Okay. I wanted to skip until 10 p.m., right? What I can do to do that? Huh. What? Yeah, really. What can I do for that? Shit. Maybe I need to read that ledger?
It's the ledger you found in the trash. It takes about half an hour to piece one together, using the system you've devised. Which one do you want?
The Unsolvable Case.
AKA Leslie and Burke. AKA the public indecency drunk and the property damage drunk is a cursed case. It has been passed from unsuspecting officer to unsuspecting officer for 10 years. On January 29, the unsolvable case made its way to you. Why you accepted it, it is unclear. Every officer, and indeed most civilians in general, know it's unsolvable. Leslie will always take his pants off when he's drunk. Burke will always trash everything. It's just what they do. It is their nature. You cannot change the nature of a man, and you can't lock them away because public indecency and small-scale property damage are not punishable by incarceration. The only way for Leslie to stop flashing his genitals to bypassers and for Burke to stop dismantling signage and rear-view mirrors would be for them to stop drinking alcohol, which in their 40s or 50s, it's hard to tell because of their distorted features, is a medical improbability on par with you ceasing to produce the expression.
Couldn't we just keep them off the streets?
You would think that, but you're wrong. Where's the fun in exposing your genitals or breaking stuff in your own home? No, Leslie and Burke are on the corner of Main Street and Perdition because that's where the action is. Can you keep yourself off the streets?
Proceed.
Threatening, fines, dragging them to the station, locking them up in the hellholes they live in, locking them up in the station, hypnotherapy, even trying to get the local gang of Zemyaki to take them out. The Zemyaki gave them ethanol so Burke and Leslie would expose and rampage even harder. You tried it all, and still the complaints wouldn't stop, as they hadn't stopped for 10 years.
Земляки. I would translate it as maybe locals, but in a not a very polite way. No. It's not a rude term, but it's kind of like it's a word that you use for your people, like people that you can hang out with, and they usually are regarded as almost as rednecks, I would say. I hope this explanation makes sense to you.
It's plain to see from the files that you, Satellite Officer JV, and Special Consultant TH had more important cases to attend to. You uncover cross-reference to several ongoing investigations, each brought to a standstill every time you drive down Main Street, because there they are, on the corner of Perdition. And what is Leslie doing?
Public indecency?
Good, you're learning. If the files are to be trusted, that's all there is to it. That and Burke breaking things, and the fact that they're both drunk. But then again, so are you. The case becomes considerably less comic one day when Burke takes a swing at your ledger. He must have it confused with the property he likes to damage. But the joke's on him. You're drunk out of your mind on potent Pilsner. You slam the hardened plastic board in his face. Then you proceed to beat him unconscious with it. In the process, the ledger sustains damage. The compartment within, reserved for permeable documents, is jammed shut. You stop your assault on the now unconscious Burke to open it, but are unable to do so. The officer began to cry, reports Leslie, who, at this point, is tending to Burke.
Okay, that's how ledger got damaged. Makes sense.
He came at us, and at us. I think he was trying to kill Burko. While trying to kill Burko, you slowly come around. The permeables compartment is open. You've smashed it open on poor Burko's kneecaps. The good news is, Burke can't walk anymore. Can't get out of his apartment, an invalid. With Burke to tend to, Leslie cuts back on the indecent exposure. Maybe he flashes his genitals to Burke. Who knows? But both drunks are off the street. The complaints stop. The unsolvable case is solved. Which is also why the officer responsible narrowly escapes a disciplinary hearing. The end. Do you want to read another one?
Maybe later.
Not much is...
What the fuck? Okay, so this should have happened recently, I think, because this ledger is still damaged and it wasn't replaced by a different one. And Harry was still drinking at that time. So maybe it was within last 4 months. It just really tells you how fucked up this place is, that this kind of behavior from a police officer didn't grant him a fine or a punishment or get him fired. He just got away with that. Kim, is it not time to sleep for you? Or do I need to go to the shack for that? Oh fuck, I think I need to go to the shack so he can leave me. So he can leave me alone.
It's getting late, and it's raining. Time to call it a day.
Good night, Kim. Send him away for the night.
Good night, officer. We'll meet in front of the shack in the morning.
Okay, but I'm not going to sleep yet.
On the table, you see a bowl of water. An old mirror hangs on the wall. You see the reflection of your face in it.
Maybe I should upgrade my electrochemistry to unlock the origin of my expression. What I want to upgrade next, besides from that. Yeah, I guess I am focusing on conceptualization for more experience, potentially. Maybe give it 3 more points. Visual calculus, I really like when it procs. And then maybe focus on authority. But I really don't like authority. I only needed to win against Kim in the eyebrow fight. Only for that. Besides that, authority for me is almost a useless check, and I really don't like hearing what it has to say for me. Oh wait, I should talk with Klaasje first. I think it's getting too late, so she probably will not be able to tell me much. Can I throw Kim?
The lieutenant's door is closed.
Knock.
No response. What are you doing?
Knock again.
Still no response. Is he not worried that you might have missed something in the autopsy? Anything to not face the hanged disco man yet.
Ah, interesting. I didn't expect for this to go further. Tap out the tune Kim whistled on the swing set.
You hear the sound of a drawer closing, followed by the shuffling of feet.
Is that you, Harry? What time is it?
No, thou art God.
It is I, guard, manager of this fair cafeterium. It's guard, the barkeep. I wanted to go over the case again. I'm not ready to go to sleep yet.
Very funny. What do you want?
I don't know, Kim.
Well, I don't know either. You should get some rest.
Sleep is what he needs most right now.
Good night, Harry.
I think this is the first time he called me by name. Actually, I think he called me by name when I was reading my badge information.
This medicine cabinet is stocked. There it is. The orange sun wearing blister pack.
I guess I can take it just to sell
nostalgic
it
for it.
later.
Feels like gold in your hands. Light and precious.
If I can do that, of course. Speed, Saint Baptiste Peptide. This bright orange medicine bottle declares the brand name Peptide in a sunny, happy manner. Someone has lost the bottle, but who cares? It gives very nice buffs, but I am a recovering cop. I don't want substances in my system, okay? Are you not getting drenched in this rain?
Officer, what brings you up here in the rain?
Okay, I really like how this game has so many potential dialogue changes depending on the what kind of events you got before, on weather, on who you met and who you didn't meet before talking to that person. It's very well planned, I think. Games like this take a long time to make, to consider all possible options, and I'm really impressed with that so far. The Hardy boys gave me a recording. They say it. Actually, I'm gonna say this later because she might tell me that it's too late, so I will talk to you tomorrow. Now that Kim isn't here, let's talk about Sunday night.
Yes. The night before I saw you in the hallway and reminded you you're a police officer.
The date of your re-entry into the fossil record.
Yes, before I emerged like Paleolithic megafauna. It's one of the first things I remember doing in Elysium. Before you was only the room, the sound of the motor vehicle, steam in the bathroom, and darkness.
Wow. That's some creation myth stuff right there. Wow. Elysium. You don't hear that term often.
She's a glib girl, but she liked the wording.
Did you hear something Sunday night from my room?
There was the usual ruckus. Loud disco music.
Did I have any visitors?
I can't say. Probably not. Sounded like you were flying solo.
You mentioned loud disco music.
Oh, yes. Various artists. Ostentatious orchestrations prime among them.
She arches her eyebrow, waiting for it to connect with you.
Oh, that? Yeah. Whoa. The less said about OO, the better.
Oh, were huge where I come from. I was very young then, of course, like 7. Life gets hard, but we go on.
Then, doesn't life get hard because we go on?
Yeah, we go on alright. It mostly just gets hard, doesn't it? Maybe we should stop going on then. Doesn't the going on cause the getting harder part?
I think you might have come to the same conclusion last night. At around 2 o'clock, the disco stopped, and there was a change of pace.
What happened?
A slow, sad song started playing, like organ music on repeat. That went on for quite a while. Some of that time, you were yelling along to it.
What was I singing?
That it doesn't matter anymore, and that we're alone now. It was difficult to tell. The song itself was very quiet and soft, but you sounded like a wounded boar, sir. It was hard to understand what you were singing on top of it.
I'm sorry. When you say wounded, do you mean that in a cool way, like a wild beast?
Don't be. I was going out later anyway. It didn't bother me.
Then what happened?
Then you started screaming and trashed the place.
That is so me. What did I do?
A window was smashed, the tape player probably, the song stopped. And furniture too. A real destructathon. There was screaming. Then I think you passed out.
Was there anything else? Please tell me there wasn't anything else.
There was. I think you screamed that you didn't want to be this type of animal anymore. I may have misheard, but it was sort of memorable. I went out afterwards. Everything was quiet by then. Around 4 or 5. And that was it.
Thank you.
No problem, sir.
She feeds herself another cigarette. I need to talk to you about your room again.
Yeah?
Where does that door lead to? Point to the door on the roof.
You tell me, officer. I've been trying to open it, in case the contamination gets to the roof and I have to move on. No luck. All right.
Let's talk more about this so-called assault.
Not my favorite topic, but okay. How about we, change the subject to something more lighthearted now?
You don't want to talk about this, huh? It's hard to read her, but I think she is hiding something. She doesn't want to talk about this, so I wouldn't catch her lying. I don't trust her remarks that she really was into that guy that was hanged. The Hardy boys gave me a recording. They say it proves the deceased's intention to commit rape.
It sounds like the boys would have preferred my saying it did happen. I didn't want to get caught up in this.
She is not at all worried the tape will contradict her statement.
What does that recording say?
Just looking for a player.
May I suggest the stereo system in your room? I'm sure it plays more than Oh-Oh and the Sad Small Church Band. Mine, unfortunately, only comes with a mimsy little radio.
I don't think that player is in a working order.
As you turn, a bright light catches your eye, making you squint.
Where is it coming from?
From a distant sunset, a stage light, flash photography, nowhere in particular. It's just what superstar law officers do. They squint at lights, and they solve shit.
I got 4 superstar points. Alright. Actually, now that I hear superstar and law official in a sentence, they sound weird together.
What are you, deaf? They're perfect, like rockstar politician and drug addict teacher. Embrace the superstardom you've worked so hard to establish.
You've got the wrong impression. I'm no superstar, I'm trash.
Yeah, a cool, trash superstar. Big dick cop down on his luck. Salam Rocky by here. Badass on the edge disco cop. Time to recede into a ludicrous fantasy world. Here we go. Camera. Lights.
Wait, what is that about a ludicrous fantasy world?
Yeah, you know. Beneath it is just heartbreak, a pulmonary tract infection, atherosclerotic disease. This is where you say action and reconceptualize all that. Reinvent it as the world's first celebrity police officer. This is the beginning of your legend.
Nah, I'm too downbeat. I won't say those things anymore. I don't know. I don't feel like a superstar.
The Sames, the rotting man, lies on his side with his eyes
Try to
looking
remove the
straight
dead
through
man's
you. His
boots
body
again.
is before you can grab hold of the boot. You hear a voice coming out of the dead man's mouth. It's the voice of Lieutenant Kim Kitsuragi, telling you to stop whatever you're doing. You're sabotaging the crime scene, and yet you haven't even finished the field autopsy. Come back later when you're done with the investigation.
Oh. Fuck. Shit, that is not good.
Kuno's like Kuno's dad? Kuno doesn't give a fuck about anything. Kuno doesn't fucking care.
Okay, what should I do? Should I go to sleep or should I read about my case files again? Maybe I will need it to skip time later, so maybe I shouldn't do that.
It's getting late, and it's raining. Time to call it a day.
Yeah, let's sleep.
The bed is comforting, if a bit run down. Still, you've earned a rest. Across the room, the heating system hums its soft lullaby. The mattress feels soft and sheets warm. It only takes you moments for the world to fall away.
Thoughts, baby. A million little lights in the dark. You're one fine instrument, brother. All those faces and all those names. All that laughter and screaming and scheming around. Every corner and every street.
Recorded in you. Forever. On ferrotape.
Spinning in eternity. Spinning on empty. Spinning. Tell me, am I dreaming?
On and on it goes, for untold hours. At the disco where you first asked her to dance. Rising, above the dark curvature, the great wingspan of sleep, studded with stars.
Behold, there are millions of them down there. The first time. The last time. The smoke in her mouth. The plotted flowers. The faces turning, changing.
What is it?
It's the world, Harry boy, and you're made of it. Every day you're out there, you make more of yourself from it. I'm afraid you can't be unmade now. You can never forget this shit.
The colors, the voices, the rain, the snow. I don't want to, it's beautiful. The endless visions, erase them.
It's not possible anymore. It's stuck on loop. Whirling, spitting out words and images.
You're the son of the world again. Harrister, a ceaseless agent. Picking up litter and old newspapers. Collecting your little bubblegum wrappers and idiotic picture postcards. Meaningless keepsakes.
Reading your awful letters and recalling things, aren't you? The endless names of the world. An address book you are. The map of a city.
That's right, I am an agent of the world. But what if I want to be the agent of nothing?
It's too late. You're not made of nothing anymore. You're something now, Harry. I tried to drown you in the black water, but you re-emerged, kicking and screaming, running. And for what?
For the greater good.
Solving your little crossword puzzles. Doing your tasks. Crossing names off lists. Trying to become some sort of world detector. It won't make it okay. It won't put smoke back in her mouth.
We're making progress. Measured, steady progress. Pursue thought. Forget politics, I will never sleep if I keep on like this. What do you mean by pursue thought?
There he goes again. He's a real political animal, our Harry. He still doesn't see that it's the world changing around him.
He's got no idea what he's in for.
Why?
'Cause only love can break your heart.
Feel the pillow under your cheek.
Beep, beep, beep. The alarm is ringing, Harry. The disco circus goes on and on. You barely slept 3 hours last night.
You can do it. It's nothing. Do it for the city. Go. Do it for the picture puzzle. Put it all together. Solve the world. One conversation at a time.
Open your eyes. Ugh. I wish we could see Harry actually eating and drinking sometimes.
Good. You're up. Listen, there's something that's been bothering you for a few days now.
What is it?
It's a suspicion, or a feeling really, that things are not quite in hand around here. An earth-shattering deduction from your psyche. What will those guys come up with next? Every day, things seem to spin more and more wildly, out of control. The center isn't holding. And despite your efforts to moderate and contain these energies, things only seem to be getting worse.
Wait, I thought things were going pretty well. Let's get right to it. What needs to be done?
You've got to find out who bears la responsabilité.
What exactly is la responsabilité? I thought I was assigning responsibility for the murder.
Harry, you're thinking about this too narrowly. La responsabilité isn't concerned with trivial questions like who killed who. It's about the real issues, the human welfare index, the price of staple goods, the transition to real democracy. The most awesome, terrible thing. It is human nature to crave la responsabilité and to deny it. That's why it must be distributed across many different organizations, agencies, offices, and portfolios.
Alright, give it to me. I will accept responsibility.
Whoa. This isn't some kind of dictatorship. You can't simply seize la responsabilité for yourself. It must be given by a legitimate authority, like a committee.
Do we really have time for all of this? And who should sit on this committee?
Only the most even-keeled minds in Martinez. Your half-brother, the lieutenant, is a natural place to start. Together, you'll be able to discover who has la responsabilité in Revachol. And, if necessary, you'll have the wisdom and expertise to assign it among yourselves.
And what happens once we have assigned responsibility?
Most likely, your findings will be collected in a report, which will be carefully reviewed by your superiors. Once they've reviewed it, those same superiors will produce a set of recommendations to be taken up at the next meeting of the Standing Committee. Rest assured, no matter what happens, it will be done through the proper channels.
I am prepared to take on this awesome burden.
Good luck. Your report is eagerly anticipated.
Not exactly sure what this task entails. Form a committee of moralists to assign responsibility. Kim might know where to start. Things down here are a mess. Someone really ought to do something about it. First of all, you and some other moralists should probably form a committee to decide whose job it is. So on day 4 in morning, I guess if you have alignment, political alignment, you get related quest to it, I guess. I see.
Caustic echo. Splat. Splatity splat, Harry. You know what that means? It means the shit has fallen off the stick, and it's bad again. You lost something, and it's not your gun. It's not your badge. It's not your uniform. You can find all of those things. No, the charred echo was left by the one thing you will never find again. Not even if you dive into the sea in search of it. It's the love of your life, Harry. The scent is everywhere. The sound is in everything. The alarm goes off at 3.
I think I got this thought when I discarded that thing that was in my compartment in my ledger, and then I chose to I chose to be curious what that thing was before it flew away. Oh no, after it flew away, so I couldn't get it anymore, but I was thinking about it again, and maybe this thought is related to me looking back while trying to move on. Plus 300 experience on completion. Ooh, 3 levels. -1 authority. Couldn't stop her from leaving. Shit. All motorics learning caps raised by 1. So I can spend a point to forget this thought because I already got a reward from it, right? So I will deny my -1 authority if I want to. Fucking hell, my fucking neighbors are being very loud currently. Okay. Oh yeah, I really needed to research about this armor, so I immediately will spend my point to get this thought. It really hurts to punch this armor. Did I read this one or not? Yeah, I did read this one. Okay. Should I upgrade something? Maybe I can upgrade 2 things and then get rid of that thought to internalize something else. Let's see. What do I want? Or maybe... Or maybe I can keep this thought because it raises caps for my motorics, right? And from my motorics, really useful ones are interfacing and hand-eye coordination. So I can upgrade them to possibly shave.
An old mirror hangs on the wall. You see the On the table, you see a bowl of water, a rough soap, and next to it, a small...
But my chances are so fucking low for this. I don't think I have anything that upgrades my hand and eye coordination, right? Nope. So I can get 2 tries. Man. What happens if I give myself 2 points and then I forget my thought? Will it give me back my skill point that I have used that cannot be usable anymore because I have forgotten that thought? How this works? I wanna experiment with this. So okay, I'm gonna upgrade my hand-eye coordination. Try shaving.
On the table, you see a bowl of water, a rough soap, and your hand shakes so hard you can't even muster up the courage to try. Maybe you're just too wild at heart.
Okay, and then I upgrade my coordination again.
On the table, you see a bowl of water. Your hand shakes so
Wow.
hard.
Okay, and then I forget this thought. It actually makes that thought to be lost forever, so I can't get it again. And it still stays on my point. Okay, it doesn't return a point, it just keeps it as it was. Okay, that's good to know. This was very shitty, so I will reload. It was just an experiment, okay? I wasn't committed for that. So I hope you are not mad at this decision of mine. I was just checking. Okay, what do I do? Man. Okay, maybe I will keep this thought for now and get rid of it if I find something more enticing, I guess. So far its passives are pretty bad for me, I think. Really don't like how it works for me currently. Okay, maybe I should check my checks. What can I do? Okay, not a lot of them, but I have 2 checks of volition, so maybe I should upgrade it once. Just to get my checks, and then I think I will give myself 2 points of conceptualization, so it would proc more often and give me more experience. Yeah, that sounds reasonable. Alright. I felt good about this. Hey Kim. Good morning.
Yes?
Kim, we need to talk about responsibility.
I'm glad to hear it, Detective. I was wondering when we'd get to this very subject.
Good, we are on the same page then.
If you ask me, it's high time for you to set aside these frivolous side tasks and focus 100% of your energies on the case before us.
No, I meant like la responsabilité. You know, the kind that gets assigned.
Why are you pronouncing it like that gentleman from the Institute of Price Stabilité? You know what? Forget it. What specifically are you trying to assign responsibility for?
Point to the ground for the murder. Point to yourself for my disaster of a life. Spread your arms wide for this whole situation.
Now I understand.
The lieutenant nods his head gravely.
Next, I suppose you're going to tell me you need to form a committee to assign this responsibility?
Yes, exactly.
Fascinating. And here I believed your recent turn toward moralism was just an act. In any event, I am just a humble law official. I may work under the Morell intern's umbrella, but I'm certainly not qualified to serve on any committee. You know who might be, though? That Mr. Villedroit, the gentleman you met in the young man's apartment. If I were trying to get in touch with the coalition, I would start by seeking him out. But first you might need to speak with his young companion. Now, was there anything else?
Yeah, where is that volition check I needed to get from
No
you?
response. He's having.
What the fuck?
Yes?
I didn't get the check anyway. How do I do that? Does it come later? Did I already missed it? Yeah, no idea.
Our tenant, the policeman.
Alright, let's make an autopsy actually. Can I sell speed?
Hello. Let me know if I can help you with anything.
I'm looking for something. I will not ask that. Actually, it can give me experience. I'm looking for something that plays a tape for police business.
Yeah, we still have those boom boxes on the shelves. Sure, let me have a look.
I have some armor.
Alright, let's see it.
Well, there are these gauntlets.
Oh no. I don't need bloodthirsty mercenaries knocking on my door looking for their missing toys. Besides, this gear costs a fortune. There's no one in Martinez with that kind of money. Anything else you're thinking of selling?
That's it. Oh, that sucks.
Another time, perhaps.
Care to share your pyrrolidon with me?
Have you tried it before?
It's almost like he's worried for you. The lieutenant steps away, pretending to admire some of the knickknacks on display. Looks like he doesn't want to get involved. Go ahead then, he thinks. As long as you can walk straight, I don't care. He won't be your nog, but he won't be thrilled about this either.
I think I have tried it once and I liked it. I haven't, but don't worry, I can take it. I ride the pyro every day. There's not an option that I want to say.
If you say so. Here you go, man.
He presents a large cap-shaped object on the palm of his hand. Very odd looking.
Not so sure about this.
Wait, why wouldn't I be sure?
Because it's an anti-radiation drug, and you're a cop. Not a post-apocalyptic scavenger.
Actually, I changed my mind. I don't need any pyrrolidon. Refuse to take the pyrrolidon.
I respect your decision, officer. What else can I help you with?
Alright. Do I sell drugs to Kuno? Or maybe to the booze guy? Oh! Who are you people?
That's one brutal motor carriage.
Says the young man with peace written on his back. Yeah, I will not risk reading this word.
If I were a real skull now, I'd jack it, paint it in palm tree livery, then bottom light it, neon style.
His companion wears a simple yet elegant slogan, "Fuck the world."
A snazzy shit-ripped skullmobile like this would make a fine trophy. We could hang fucking shrunken heads from the side mirrors. Cops' heads. Scary tribal shit.
Yeah, tribal shit. A cop carriage like this would have proper skull value.
While I appreciate the interest you take in my brutal motor carriage, I have to stop you right there. The RCM takes threats directed at its property seriously.
It's just theoretical work, Copper. No basis in reality. Man, if we were certified skulls right now...
Skulls. Now there's a strong organizational title.
Who are you?
I can tell you who we're not, cop. We're not snitches or skulls.
Which is not to say that the skulls are bitches and... On the contrary.
The part of this presentation you want to take home with you, cop man, is we're not part of the skulls yet.
Okay then, let's indulge in some intellectual exchange. These young men seem eager to share their beliefs.
Do you guys know Cindy the Skull?
Oh yeah, Cindy's a right proper skull.
The young man's eyes glaze over, his voice filled with longing.
Yeah, a true artist of the future. Just like Arno van Eyck.
By the way, if you see Cindy, give her our regards.
He adds, returning from whatever void he was just visiting.
For all their nihilistic posturing, these young men are not lacking in youthful idealism. Odd, there isn't a hint of hate in them. It's like they're piss and fuck the world out of some kind of moral obligation. The lieutenant on your left is unusually lenient toward them.
Who is Van Eyck?
Old man, it doesn't matter. You'll be long gone before his greatness is recognized.
Yeah, I guess you're right. I'm pretty old.
Yep, old as fuck.
Yeah, man. It's like at death's door. No wonder you know nothing about the future. You won't be there.
Judging by that, Van Eyck is some sort of musician. Or killer.
Why aren't there more skulls in Martinez?
The Union does their share of policing in Martinez, at least where gangs are concerned. That's why there isn't much organized crime around here.
Apart from the unions themselves, of course.
Don't you worry about that. We're gonna make up for the deficit.
Yeah, we are.
Your rhetoric is confusing. Are you part of the skulls or not?
We're not franchise skulls. Well, not yet. Once we get our name out there, we'll have a chance to join them.
And what makes you think that the organization would accept you?
Because we can be just as psycho and vicious. You'll see.
You'll see for sure once we're in. It's the last thing you'll ever see before the void consumes you.
Throw him off his game.
Are you implying I might be in some sort of danger? Are you sure a skull would say that?
Well, Yeah, I mean, we're only saying practice things for now, so we don't mean no harm to the Skulls brand, or to you.
This is definitely something the Skulls would say, but we're not trying to encroach on the Skulls brand in any way. On the contrary, we're just here to market it.
Hold on, why does a criminal gang need marketing?
We think of it more like two franchises merging. You know, us two and the Skulls. I really feel like we would add more to the table. Spice things up here in Martinez, you know. Get the old machine of pain and suffering oiled up real good.
What would these guys have to offer any organization?
Okay, I get what the Skulls do, but what do you franchise in? Youth unemployment? Doesn't it already have enough spice?
There can always be more. In the end, it won't matter. Till then...
So you're just pretending to be as nasty and vicious as the Skulls.
Hey, we could be just as hard. Like pavement on top of pavement, or a brick on top of another brick.
Or a grave on top of a grave.
These kids have the vocabulary, but might be missing a brain. Wouldn't a grave on top of a grave be just a big hole? What's hard about holes?
Enough about these calories then. Who are the Skulls?
You don't know? What kind of cop are you?
It's not a question. Don't get into it.
Of course I do. I'm just testing you, boys.
The Skulls are the most vicious gang of the Besmertne.
Бессмертный, huh? So I would translate it as immortal.
Besmatine, or the Besmati, the Immortals, are West River Sholian crime syndicates.
The nastiest bunch of psychos ever. Jacking carriages and getting into high-speed chases.
Possessing an infinite amount of fuck-all swagger, infamous for their non-verbal modus operandi.
Say nothing.
They usually occupy the burnt-out quarter in Jamrock, or you can find them loitering around their brightly painted bottom-lighted vehicles.
I can't wait to become a Skull. Bottom lights are wretched aggressive.
Do you know anything about the murders that took place here?
Murder?
A man was hanged in the backyard of the Whirling in Rags.
Yeah, sure. We'll gladly tell you everything we know about it. It was a man.
Also, he was hanged.
Anything else?
He was hanged from a tree.
Yeah, I mean, duh.
These punks don't know anything. Let's just move along.
Hey, stop right there. How does one know anything?
This sounds like epistemology. A field so occupied by thought that it begins to question thought itself.
I know that you don't know shit.
Exactly. How can one know shit? For example, how can one be sure that there truly is a body hanging behind a hostel?
What if it's art? Or just a mere specter?
Maybe it's true. The hanged man is merely a prop in a performance. We are the audience, and the artist is hiding somewhere in the dark.
That could be the case. Yes, a brilliant work of art.
No reply. The blonde rebel scratches his chin, deliberately not focusing his gaze on anything. He looks very uncomfortable.
What is with the jackets?
What about them?
Turn to the blonde youth. Why does your jacket has peace written on it?
Well, first off, it's a statement and not necessarily something that characterizes me as a person, even though the statement has character. And I do like piss. The word piss epitomizes the struggle taking place in the world. Things being defined as they seem, not as they are. And, I guess, it's also about communal spirit, the future, and truly appreciating our differences. Also, you've got to admit, it catches the eye. And since the Grand Piper is slowly but steadily moving towards basing the economy on it, attention, it is imperative that the medium itself convey the message.
What?
What I mean by this is, we are all pissed, and that the world is inherently meaningless.
Though he seemed lacking in vocabulary, it seems that the young man has expertise in at least one field, even if it's rather narrow.
That didn't make any sense to me. Turn to the dark-haired youth. Why do you have "fuck the world" written on your jacket?
Like I said before, many men keep searching for the one, for so-called true love, which is actually just obsession masquerading as kinship. The thrill of the chase, the hollowness that fills your chest cavity after catching it.
I'm wondering if the poetics come with the jacket, or are they derived from something else entirely?
To catch a fish, you'll need to hurl the lure many times, and even then it isn't certain that you'll get anything. If you blow up the lake, though...
That is a terrible metaphor.
You get more fish in a shorter time. And, for time is of the essence and fleeting ever so quickly, one must think of a way to fuck the whole world and not get caught up in fucking someone. Because when one fucks everything, he fucks nothing. And that, to me, feels glorious. Sticking your dick into the void.
Hate to admit it, but in a weird way, he's got a point. Is it a coincidence that here we have two badass jackets and two badass cops?
Hey, Kim. Lower your voice.
Yes?
Do you think it's a coincidence?
What is?
There are two of us and two of these jackets.
What are you implying?
Which one would you wear?
I'm not sure I understand you, detective.
Are you more of a peace or a fuck the world kind of guy?
Neither.
Come on, Kim, it's just a mental exercise.
Fine, if only to end this discussion. Theoretically, if I were a juvenile delinquent, if I were to already be down that path, I think peace is the stronger of the two statements.
No. No way. If anything, I am the peace in this scenario. That works. I feel more like a fuck the world kind of guy.
Seems about right, especially considering your heroic exit attempts.
That's an origin story for a dynamic duo right there.
So are we done here? Or... you don't need us around for your secret whisper party, do you?
Ask for the jackets for yourself and the lieutenant. Well, talking with you has definitely been something. Okay, maybe I should try that. What should I upgrade? Maybe more conceptualization. Yes. Okay, to have more half-light, I need these pens. I guess that's where the merchandise comes from Zayum shop, official one. I saw, I think, a hoodie or a t-shirt that says "fuck the world," and they didn't have a peace one.
That ride is fucking lightning!
Hey, piss. Look who it is. Shrunken cophead material.
No, no, no. Don't ask anything. Be subtle and scary. The boys dream about being skulls. Use that.
Wait, how?
Suggest they're massive skulls. Come on.
Boys, with those jackets, you're gonna be the Skull Kings in no time.
What? No. Skulls don't have kings. I think. And we're not even in yet.
Yeah, man, keep your voice down. Skulls don't take it lightly when folks pretend to be them. We're not even prospects yet.
Prospect must be a hierarchical term, probably in the lower end.
Not even prospects and already aspiring to be kings?
Wow, you boys are ambitious. Only prospects and already planning a coup in the skulls. You're destined to go far.
He gets it. Passive-aggressive flattery.
Shut the fuck up. Are you trying to get us killed?
Now bring it to the jackets and, yes, start shouting.
Wow, I didn't realize it's that serious. Let's forget about this. Yes, we wanna be a cool killer skulls too, like you guys, but we don't have skull jackets.
Please be quiet. What? What do you want? The jackets?
You got it. No need for cruelty.
Skull King, make shrunken heads out of us. You offer us your jackets like that? It'd be impolite to refuse. Reach out your hand. Yes, the jackets.
Oh, man. Okay, I get it. Skulls don't really wear slogans anyway. This was stupid. Fuck.
You guys look so lame without your jackets.
The lieutenant watches the boys take their jackets off with mild amusement.
Turn to Kim. Since you said you're more of a peace kinda guy, I will take the other one. I know you said you are more of a peace kinda guy, but I think I should have it for myself.
I'm absolutely okay with not having either one, thank you.
Why not? They're a pair. We could really raise hell. Go undercover. Hard.
This case doesn't require us to go undercover or raise hell. In fact, I don't think the jackets will be useful at all. I just wanted them to not have them anymore.
Cold-hearted cop.
Well, whatever. I will take both of them then. Still, it's good to know we have a pair in case the need arises.
The need will not arise.
The jackets are meant to complete each other. If a man was standing alone on a street corner with his written on his back, it'd just be an individual that has taken a liking to urine. And fuck the world all on its own is, frankly, generic.
It is.
I don't know, Eric. It's cold out.
The dark-haired young man just stands there defeated. The wind blows.
Yeah, let's get out of here. The cops fucked us.
Ah, I'm sorry. Do they give me anything? Ooh. +1 drama, no fucks given. -1 authority. Wait, I am a detective? A leather jacket that quite recently belonged to a young man who possessed some intimate knowledge on the human condition. It has his nom de guerre written on the back. It's quite a statement. +1 half-light, darkening world. -1 rhetoric, in elegant statement. A leather jacket that quite recently belonged to a hoodlum who understood love for what it really is. It has a hoodlums, or is it a hoodlum? No, hoodlum. I have no idea. Hoodlum's nom de guerre written on the back. It's quite a statement. Yeah, fuck the world jacket can be useful later, for sure. Half-light, sometimes I do need it. Oh yeah, serial number.
Inside, you see a set of steering levers, a radio microphone, a pull-out.
This is Precinct 57. How may I assist you? Still no word, I'm afraid, sir. I know it must be frustrating. Was there anything else you wanted to ask? 57th, over and out.
In the cabin, you see a set of steering levers.
Make way for the master.
The rotting man lies on his side with his eyes looking straight through you. His body is supine and open to intrusion. By autopsy, the lieutenant adjusts his glasses and takes a deep breath.
Come on, officer. You know what the field...
What you do know is, at 18.9 kilometers,
Do you
the
have
Dormant
another
Shield
pair of
volcano-
gloves?
Unfortunately, no.
I have gardening gloves. Maybe they are enough?
They are better than nothing. Tell you what, I perform the anatomical side of things, while you will take notes.
We just fill this in, right? Show him the red-filled autopsy form in your ledger.
That's right.
You knew it because you inspected your ledger. The lieutenant is relieved you know the protocol. Yeah, we got this. We're smart.
Open your ledger at the filled autopsy form.
The dead man stares in silence as you crack open the ledger. The bright red paper is covered in boxes and lists, describing the condition of his skin and organs in 3 parts. Above those, an 11-field info form needs filling out first. It begins with...
Begin. 1. Assistant.
That's you.
Right. Harrier Dubois, Lieutenant Double a Freighter.
The corpse is indifferent to your scribblings, just lies there. The next box says...
2. Coroner's case number...
KK57-0803.0815.
KK equals Kim Kitsuragi. 57 equals Precinct 57, followed by his date 0803 and time of arrival 0815 on the scene. He's indexed the case after himself, not you. That's because he doesn't want to bring up the messy question of your initials.
Shouldn't we file the coroner's case under me? Technically, I arrived at the scene before you.
And what would that make the alphanumeric?
HDB 41 0803. Help me out with the time of day, anyone? 11:11. It's meaningful. 10:15. It's understated.
I guess I listened to my drama, as always.
Good. Let's go with that.
Oh. I didn't mean to change... okay. I guess this case is under me then.
The lieutenant is quite surprised you managed to come up with an adequate case number.
3. Name.
We've heard the nom de guerre. Lely. It's better than nothing. Write it down.
Right. Lely. Nom de guerre.
What's next? Date of birth?
4. Date of birth.
NA.
Age. 5.
Roughly 50.
Dry 40. The damage is so extensive, it's better to err on the young side.
I'm gonna write 42.
He nods.
6. Race.
Mondial.
Fair to olive-skinned, from the Isola of Mwindi. This is as vague as it gets. You might as well say whitish.
Write it down.
The pudgy mess of curdled meat looks neither mondial nor anything other.
7. Sex.
Fucky!
Male.
Pigs can have sex!
Right. Male.
Nor does he look male, with his pregnant belly and indistinguishable face.
8. Date of death.
We're still going with March 4th. 51.
Write it down.
What else? 9. Body identified by is non-applicable. 10. Case number is the same as the coroner's case.
HDB 41 0803.1015 listens motionless with the cargo belt still around his neck. Only one box remains.
11. Evidence of treatment.
None. At least not after the initial examination.
A strange word. Treatment.
What exactly is treatment anyway?
Interfering with the body's position or wounds post-mortem.
How did you not know that? Aren't you a cop? You're leaving a weak impression here. Say something sure-handed. Don't overdo it. It's okay to be unsure.
I'm not so sure.
A silent nod. The lieutenant places his gloved hand on the corpse's chest, as if in preparation.
We should start the post-mortem.
Turn the page.
The corpse cannot feel Kim's hand on his chest. It no longer meaningfully interacts with its surroundings. A thicket of boxes and lists on red copier paper tries to answer why.
1. External examination summary.
Clothes. The deceased wears armored boots and white briefs. The make of the briefs is Babrodine, I think. Let's see.
He turns the body onto its side to check the underwear label.
See, it's happening.
Babrodine, yes. Inexpensive. Size M. Color white.
The disappointment is palpable. The red-haired thing was expecting something more lurid.
Write it down.
The rest of the clothes have been removed post-mortem by scavengers in order to get to the victim's ceramic armor. Officers are in search of the missing pieces. Removal of the boots is left for processing.
It would be clever of you to omit the boots altogether, sire. If you are to keep them for yourself, as you ought to, you have deserved them more than anyone else.
When am I gonna get them?
Patience. After the autopsy, before the body is taken away, there will be a window of opportunity. After the lieutenant has gone to sleep. I hope this has helped you, my liege.
Omit the boots.
The boot has a serial number. It's E50.100.100. The lines between the plates are in the shape of the alphanumerical. The number is purposefully concealed by the design.
Write it down.
Tattoos. The upper torso is covered in a single continuous tattoo, resembling a national pattern. It reaches from the right shoulder to the heart. The ink is blue and white. The assistant has a color photograph of the markings, to be added to the case files as document A1. The photo is taken on the scene, using a Trigat Mini.
Write it down.
The deceased has a belt for airlifting cargo around his neck, tied with a hangman's knot. Color yellow. Length 3 meters. There is a buckle on the other end.
Write it down.
Well nourished, athletically built, measuring 1.8 meters. Generally consistent with age 42. Preservation is good. Ambient temperature below freezing.
Write it down.
Body hair is light brown. Distribution is consistent with age. The deceased had male pattern baldness. Hair is combed back, short.
Touch the corpse's hair before moving on.
His hair feels wet, soaked with rain, cold to touch. Not that different from a living person after a swim.
Stroke his hair gently.
The stench is suffocating. Strands of dark brown hair start sticking to your hand, like thread off a rag doll's head.
Keep petting him.
More hair sticks to your hand. Hair off the rain-soaked head of a dead man. There are bumps and dips on the skull below. An alien landscape. There, dead man. You were someone's child. It's all over now.
There, baby.
The lieutenant watches you in silence.
Write it down. Short, light brown, male pattern baldness.
That was some sick shit, Sekopa.
Lividity is consistent with hanging, albeit faint, as noted. The head is congested. Contusions are present on the head, chest, and thighs, indicating stones thrown. Low velocity.
Fucking low velocity? You think Kuno doesn't know what you're talking about? Velocity was fucking max!
I wonder if he will note a bullet hole that I made into that corpse.
Talking shit about Kuno's velocity.
In addition, there are bite marks on the face, scalp, and chest, consistent with predation.
Write down, but I meant for high velocity. Nah, just write down.
Ligature mark.
The lieutenant produces a small folding knife. With the other hand pulling on the belt, he starts cutting into the polyester. The stench is horrid. After a while, it's obvious the material cannot be cut.
The steel wiring. There's too much of it. We need to remove the belt so we can get to the ligature mark.
You got just the right tool for that. The chain cutters.
Oh yeah, I am prepared. Pet the chain cutters.
The hanged man lets out a joyous little bubble of rot from his nose.
Good thing we got these chain cutters.
Always good to think ahead. Now...
He points to the rope squeezing the dead man's neck.
We need to cut the belt to see the ligature mark below. Carefully, with as much precision as you can.
See? My pig is gonna fuck his head off.
No, he ain't. Your pig's a boring fuck.
Yes, I am Kuno's pig, I agree. I'm not your pig, Kuno. Look for a good spot to cut.
The belt is equally tight around the whole circumference of his neck, swelling over the edges like white bread rising from the east. Would it be a good idea to cut the knot instead of the belt? Seems the more conservative approach.
Oh shit, my visual calculus was barely good enough to see this check.
You are? This pig is Kuno's.
Being Kuno's pig has a steadying effect on your hand. Go with the flow, man.
Oh, this gave me better chances, and I will still fail, I just feel it. Cut the belt off.
You jam the cutters right under the knot. That seems like a smart idea. Yeah, somewhere there. Already they're buried deep in the man's flesh. Then you rotate them to get a better hold. Then...
Fuckity fuck.
The lieutenant looks by, somewhat worried as you summon power words to your aid.
Rotate some more.
A really, really bad smell is coming from there now. And some kind of cracking sound.
Enough, cut some.
Yeah, fuck him! Fuck that baggery! Corpse fucking time!
Told you my pig was hardcore.
I should have a go first. I think I have a strategy.
He steps in and takes the chain cutters from you. Let him work.
He sinks the cutters into the knot, preparing to perform the cuts, with his elbow to his knee for precision. Snap! The knot is slashed. Another cut and the belt falls apart like a flower bouquet, revealing the dead man's neck and the dark red ligature mark around it.
Here.
He hands you the chain cutters back and then kneels closer to the body, running his finger along the dark red groove until he comes to a gap.
The rope rises to a point, leaving a gap in the ligature mark. The suspension point is in the back of the neck, on the nape. Hemorrhaging is observed on the skin, above and below the ligature mark. The mark is well pronounced, consistent with a drop from 1 or 1.5 meters.
Write it down.
Chest is intact, normal contour. Abdomen is protuberant, pelvis intact, genitalia...
He pulls down the man's underpants.
No! Let's get out and see!
I fucking knew it!
This is clearly what they've been waiting for, ever since the autopsy began. The lieutenant is trying to make it as boring as possible.
Genitalia is male and unremarkable. No evidence of injury.
Write it down and move on. Actually, inspect the genitals.
The dead man's penis is average-sized, congested from the downward collection of blood. The testicles are uneven in length, hanging underneath. The genitalia is greenish, Marbling is present around the crotch.
Back is symmetrical and intact. Upper and lower extremities are intact, but asymmetrical. There are combat injuries on the right hand, thigh, and hip. In addition, I see smaller, residual scars, too numerous to count, covering about 30% of his skin.
From wounds sustained over 2, maybe more decades, dispersal and accumulation indicates long and active combat duty.
This scanning is extensive, way more than law officials.
We have a real museum here. Of battles, wars.
Write it down.
Last item. Hands.
He takes the man's right hand in his, inspects it, then moves on to the other hand. Let the lieutenant work alone.
Hands are clean. No sign of a recent struggle.
Were we expecting any?
I was. Maybe I'm just not seeing them. Honestly, this stench is making it hard for me to think at the moment.
Working so close to the fumes coming from the corpse must be hard. You realize suddenly that the lieutenant has been barely keeping it together these past 2 items.
Write it down.
Ooh. That's all for the external. Well done. What next?
Okay, I remember you saying a white lie that your sense of smell is gone. It isn't. 2. Internal examination.
Central nervous system. I have nothing. Do you have anything on this man's central nervous system?
Of course, there is a moral to be drawn from it. A moral to this story.
If I may add the moral of the story.
What would that be?
He looks at you inquisitively.
The dead man looks, too, with barely contained excitement to hear the moral of his story.
The brain is very vulnerable to compromises in its blood supply.
I think that may well be the moral of every story, officer.
The lieutenant grins. I will write N.A.
Good. Musculoskeletal. Purge fluid is coming from the mouth. Not injury related. Eyes and tongue protuberant. Hyoid bone. Let's see.
With his eyes almost closed, the lieutenant puts his hand on the dead man's throat and begins to massage it, gently. A rotting smell erupts from the mouth. Purge fluid runs down his lips, black and viscous.
Yeah, jack that fucker off!
The hyoid bone is fractured. The rest of the musculoskeletal system is intact. Unremarkable.
Write it down.
Respiratory system.
Back hunched, as if in prayer, he begins to pry open the dead man's jaws. He stops to exert more force. Both hands are used.
Oral cavity shows no lesions. The victim has received dental implants, possibly after a combat wound. Mouth swollen. Hemorrhaging present in mucosa of the lips and mouth.
From here, it looks as though the clown-faced man is screaming. The tendons of his jaw are torn apart. Hyoid ripped from the force of the lieutenant's hands.
A look inside the dead man's mouth.
No scream, no sigh of relief rises from the darkness inside. It's humid there. Sickly sweet air, unlike anything living. You feel like you're about to throw up again, straight in that mouth of his.
Okay. Write it down.
Hepatobiliary. NA.
Why? Don't we have anything?
Are you a hepatobiliary expert?
He looks at the corpse's stomach with a mixture of tiredness and disgust.
Hepato means liver, and biliary, the gallbladder and bile ducts.
Am I an expert in those things?
Nothing in your alcohol-soaked memory directs to having forensic expertise on either one.
I don't think so.
Neither am I.
And that's it.
That's it.
NA.
Same for toxicology and serology. NA.
Both?
Unless you have untapped reservoirs of knowledge there?
Reservoirs? No, but do they take obscure trivia and odd tidbits?
The completionist in me wonders if there's something we could still do.
Like a toxicology screening? At this stage, I doubt processing will find anything, even if he was brimming with cocaine. But still, you should add a request.
NA and add toxicology requested. Yeah, we still need that, because I'm still going with my theory that he was overdosed on drugs.
Cardiovascular. The body exhibits heavy lividity. Blood has gathered in the hands, feet, and neck. Hypostasis is visually consistent with the hanging.
Write it down.
Gastrointestinal.
He breathes a sigh of approaching relief. This is the last field on the list. He looks around. To the ground, the pool of feces there.
This will do.
Digested semi-solid food in stomach. Voila.
He touches the corpse's bloated lower abdomen briefly. Write it down. Omit the voila.
What's next on the list?
3. Description of injuries. Summary.
Let's see. We have bite marks, contusions on the head and chest, and a ligature mark encircling the neck. You'll need 3 fills. Leave a 4th one too.
What about the injuries we have inflicted?
Oh, so we inflicted them?
Okay, I have inflicted.
Okay, so there's a spin-stabilized munition from a Kiel A990 muzzleloader lodged in his lung, and an incision on the thorax from a chain cutter. I wouldn't mention those. Better not to muddy the waters.
I agree, the waters are muddy enough. But isn't that sloppy?
Be pedantic if you like, it doesn't matter. No one else is going to investigate this man's murder. And if they do, such details would only confuse them.
See? These pigs are fucking corrupt.
The boy nods approvingly.
Why don't you fuck him if you love him so much?
Now, injuries.
1. Bite marks.
Head, chest and scalp bite mark injuries. Predation by birds has caused damage to the body. Odontologist does not need to be consulted.
Write it down.
And your opinion, officer?
A. Opinion. Fatal injury. B. Non-fatal. Post-mortem.
Agreed. Next injury?
2. Contusions.
So, the scalp bleeds from a post-mortem head injury, a stone. The injury does not have the rim of an early inflammatory response. The perpetrator on the scene has confessed to causing it post-mortem.
At maximum velocity, fucko!
Has confessed to causing it at maximum velocity.
The lieutenant's admission has caused great gratitude in Kuno. He is silent with it.
Write it down.
Coagulated blood sticks to his scalp and chest, where the countless stones have hit the dead man. Beneath, the description of injury. 2 boxes.
B. Non-fatal. Post-mortem.
Right. Next.
3. Ligature mark. Finish the autopsy. Wait. What is the 4th injury field for?
Nothing. Just in case.
Okay.
A dark red abraded ligature mark encircling the neck, with a gap on the nape measuring, let's say, 7 centimeters. The hyoid bone is fractured, the cervical column intact. I see hemorrhaging on the skin, above and below the ligature mark. Depth of the mark, 1 centimeter. No signs of clawing on the neck.
Write it down.
Below the note, 2 customary boxes wait to be ticked. The man's head jerks to the side. The ring around his neck is visible.
So maybe he did overdose, or maybe Klaasje gave him sleeping pills. So he fell asleep, and then Hardy Boys or someone else, they hanged him while he was unconscious. I'm not sure. I wanna say this was non-fatal, post-mortem. The lieutenant falls silent abruptly.
He is deep in thought, eyes fixed on the bright red ring around the dead man's neck.
Why do you say that?
I'm serious. I don't think this was the injury that killed him.
Okay. Why don't you think it was fatal?
I arrived at this conclusion through the psychic arts. I don't like the coloration. The lividity did not convince me. Why weren't his hands tied? A big man like this, I would tie his hands when marching him to the gallows.
Honestly, I'm not sure there weren't marks on his wrist. That part got blurry for me. the stench. But you are right, I was ready to call this. Now I think we should leave it empty, at least for the time being. Let's wrap this up. I pronounce this field autopsy over.
Alright, I'm very happy with that. That my thinking actually got this to the point where Kim is already, not already, is also suspecting some kind of convoluted mess going on here. Fine, how did it go? First, how did it go?
It was an irregular field autopsy. We did not establish cause of death, which is supposed to be the goal of an autopsy. But, personally, I do not see this as a parameter for success. We also requested a toxicological screening that was thorough. The results should arrive in a couple of weeks, if we are lucky. I will not hold my breath.
In couple weeks? Fuck. What else?
We were thorough with the list of injuries too. We described them all in detail. What is there to say? Given the circumstances, it was a professional field autopsy.
Man, now I wish my visual calculus was higher before we did this. Yeah, let's upgrade it while I can. What now?
I need a copy of that autopsy form. Then I will drive him to Faubourg.
Rip out a copy of the autopsy pages.
For processing.
He looks at the dead man one more time, then at the slip of red paper in his hand, then at the corpse again.
He's thinking, did I miss something? I'm sure we didn't get everything. There's always something.
Search the body one more time. Thoroughly. Perception, huh? I don't think I have any way to get more perception. It's fucking 0.
You run your hands over the victim's cold body, his limbs, his torso with its swollen organs. Maybe you should be more thorough.
Look in his pants again.
The genitals in his breeches continue to be unnoteworthy. You see the penis of a dead man. If you've seen it once, you've already got the picture.
Can't get enough of that dick.
Do you think we missed something?
You can't shake the feeling that there are more secrets concealed in the flesh before you.
Yes, there's something we are not seeing.
Okay, well, we are in livor mortis here. He is disintegrating. We need to refrigerate the body if we want to conduct another examination, and we need to do it fast.
Refrigerate him? Okay, where do we find a fridge for the body?
Hey, wasn't there a giant ice bear sarcophagus below that building?
Why yes, there was. An absolute colossal fridge still plugged in, literally in the shape of an ice bear.
Yes, now, I've rarely been disappointed by the size of a giant ice bear fridge, but I think we should still take a look at it first. Make sure it's big enough before we carry him over. Let's move. With every hour, whatever we are looking for in the deceased will become harder to find.
The man is deep. The lieutenant adjusts his glasses and takes a deep breath.
Okay, so I can freeze him to try to do this perception check, right? But I can upgrade my perception only once? Actually, I can do it more than once. I can do it 6 times. Will this be enough? What I'm thinking that bugging him and getting him to processing will not yield me results fast enough. He said that toxicology screenings, they will be Results of that they will be given in 2 weeks if we are lucky, and I think mercenary tribunal will happen in maybe 4 days or so. So maybe all of my next points should go into perception until I get his check that I missed. Ooh. That could be a good thing to do, because I also need perception for that weird door that I can see from the window in Whirling in Rags. Interesting. Okay, let's do that. But I will make a new save in case if I want to change my decision later. Let's go see that refrigerator. It's quite close actually.
2 cables are plugged in. This orange machine is buzzing like an old You slip your... If you want to try again.
Equip the pry bar.
This orange machine is buzzing like an old submarine. The bear's eyes are still glowing red, watching over all the ice cream wrappers hidden inside its belly.
So, what do you think of this fridge, Kim? It looks big enough for 2 corpses.
It's certainly an eccentric choice, but it is capacious and cold enough, too.
But the optics on this are awful, he thinks. We need to be as silent as we can. Your visual confirms you could fit 2 more bodies in the ice bear fridge.
Does that mean someone else will die?
Shall we go and get the body then? I'll take the head, you take the feet. The stairs won't be easy, but we'll manage.
Okay, let's do this.
The body is heavier than you expected and stinkier. It takes half an hour to get it down to the basement, then 10 more minutes to stuff it into the fridge. The lieutenant takes a step back to admire your handiwork.
Beautiful. A dead body in an ice bear fridge. This is some of the best police work I've ever done.
You have created an ice bear sarcophagus.
Oh, really? You think it's good work? I'm not sure I believe you. Behold, we have created an ice bear sarcophagus.
Talk of the ice bear sarcophagus must not leave this room.
He means it. He doesn't want to be the ice bear cop.
I think this is a glorious achievement and people need to hear about it. We did our best with the means at our disposal. Yeah, I'm not proud either, but we did find a fridge. This isn't police work, Kim. It's art. We're artists, and this was our vision.
If I were an artist, this would certainly not be my vision. I would be much, much more conservative in my work.
He's right. His work would be much more formal.
At least we've stopped the body from decomposing further. Now you can conduct another inspection, under controlled circumstances.
Inside the icy realm of the ice bear fridge, the corpse stands slumped, waiting.
Tell me something, dead man.
Shoot, Looney Rooney.
How do you like it in the fridge?
I like it a lot, brother. This really is your finest hour. You're a genius. A regular Corporal Angelo. Come back later, Corporal.
Okay.
Amuse yourself with my
and I did this so I can remove his boots when Kim is not looking.
Also, see me in your dream.
Okay, let's try your check.
You touch the dead man's body. His skin is cold, light blue and silvery in the light of the fridge. You still have no idea where to begin, or what to even do with him.
It'll come to you sooner or later. At least he's safe here until then.
Alright. Now that we did that, maybe I can talk with Whirling in Rags, guys. Actually, let's not do that. I wanna come back there when I have listened to that tape.
Hello again, sir.
Alright, I guess I should explore in the village again.
Vigilance officer, what can this old carabinier do for you?
I understand Jeanne-Marie meant a lot to you.
There's nothing for you to understand here. It is not her death you are investigating.
Were the circumstances of her death in any sense unusual? Where was the photo of you two taken?
Reversal Fair of 91 in the Faubourg district. A parade was held to honor Guillaume Le Lion's name day, and the Carabiniers marched in the place of honor.
You looked happy in the picture, smiling.
This was the happiest day of my life.
This is said in such a matter-of-fact tone, it leaves no room for doubt.
Absolutely not. She died of pneumonia in her bed at the age of 79. This is highly usual.
What happened with you, Gaston, and Jeanne-Marie?
I was 22 when I returned from King Guillaume's Akira operation in the south and found my sweetheart in the arms of this wretch.
The Akira operation was a 7-year campaign, during which suzerain Guillaume's army forcefully united the people in the southeastern part of La Petite Continent, collectively known as the Akira tribes, under the Revacholian banner.
I won her back, but while I was dealing with some issues.
You were like a dark cloud sucking the joy out of every living thing around you. And you hurt her.
Dark cloud. That sounds unpleasantly familiar.
He looks down at his boots, lips moving, but the words are inaudible.
Those days and memories are gone.
He nods and looks Rene with something resembling compassion.
The old soldier says nothing, but when his glance quickly runs over Gaston's face, there's an odd look in his eyes.
I guess he's dealing with PTSD, possibly?
Could it be guilt? The scruffy-haired little boy kicks a stone while the other watches him do it.
Is little Lily your sister? Point to the house.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
The legend returns. You know the dance. Smokable smokes, pissable pilsner. Drink it, then convert it to piss. And there's spirits and speed too.
I can't walk to that side. So I guess I am forced to go this way. I can climb there, right? The water runs from the west. The source is upstream, a broken pipe. No no boat in the boathouse today. This section of the coast hasn't been used in decades. The boathouse is shoddily constructed. A strong breeze might blow it over. Ancient paint is peeling off the roof of this shaded bench, covered in rust. An old ticket taker booth, no longer in operation. People paid money to park here, no one would pay now. This sign says Entry Interdite. Phone people. +2 logic, -1 perception. The small wire framing inside this futuristic looking phone people hat gives it the aerodynamic shape of a soup skier's helmet, but none of its protective qualities. Covers the wearer's ears and eyebrows to bring down the drag coefficient. Doesn't look bad, but it makes my perception -2, so I can't interact with objects. So yeah, I will need to upgrade my perception at least once for it to be usable. The door is not only barred shut, it is inaccessible. Cryptozoologists. Tiny cages, carefully constructed.
Here we go. Nice and easy. No way out, little guys. Not out of this gem.
There's a cylinder on the ground in which the man is arranging some netting. It looks like some kind of trap. He notices you.
Who's there? Oh, the police. Hello, officers.
Is that the police? Why are the police here?
Gary is a crypto-fascist.
Don't worry, Gary. I'll handle it.
He must be Morell, the cryptozoologist.
To what do I owe the pleasure?
That's sarcasm. He takes no pleasure from your appearance.
Alina sent me. She's been really worried about you and is waiting for you to get back.
Of course. Thank you for passing along the message. That damn water lock is broken, and we can't go all the way around the 881.
The 881 is a raised motorway that separates Martinez from Jamrock. The labyrinth of streets underneath it makes it difficult to pass, not like walking over a nice water lock.
Yeah, that was me. I broke the water lock with my motor carriage, but it's fixed now. You can go back.
You broke the water lock with a motor carriage? But there was a billboard in the canal. Not a vehicle. It said Samaran Butter.
I guess you're right. It was really the sign's fault. Anyway, you can go back now. No, it was all me. I caused your delay, and I'm sorry, but you can return now. No, see? I'm jumped over the canal in my motor carriage, tearing through the Samaran Butter sign, which fell into the canal, blocking the gates. I used the pawn shop as a launch ramp.
Why?
He spreads his arms in disbelief. Because I needed to drive into the ocean. Because I am insane. It was an experiment to gauge the Capri 40's aerial performance. I am something of a gentleman scientist myself. I'm sorry, I don't know.
Insane? Yes, okay, good. But you said the waterlock is fixed now. So we can go back.
Did he say we can go back now?
Yes, Gary. We can go soon. If you see Lena, tell her I won't be long.
This is a man possessed, always on the brink of some breakthrough. He won't leave if there's a sliver of hope. The great find might happen today.
Sir, your wife is waiting for you.
I just have to do one more round. See if the phasmid has taken the bait. Then we're going.
He refastens a bit of netting that has come loose in the wind. Okay, I guess I should upgrade my perception now.
For all his passion, this man is diligent and patient. You could learn things from him.
Tell me about this phasmid you're looking for.
Well, first of all, it's damn difficult to find, which is why we've been knee-deep in the reeds laying traps for it.
Why are you so interested in this stick bug? It doesn't seem to be as colorful as some of the other cryptids I have heard about.
Typical rookie assumption. Insects are much more sophisticated creatures than those unversed in zoology give them credit for. Even simply catching a glimpse of the Insulindian phasmid would be the apex of of any cryptozoologist's career. But to study it and its defenses, find out how it stayed hidden so long.
He shakes his head. What makes it so difficult to find?
Good question. Being a phasmid of the order Phantasmodea, a ghost insect, it disguises itself as plant matter. In this case, the reeds. Awful lot of reeds around, aren't there? And I suspect it may have also developed other specialised techniques to protect itself from predators, or scientists, in our present case.
What sorts of specialized techniques is the phasmid using to hide itself?
It's my hypothesis that it has evolved certain electrochemical defenses that allow it to interfere with animal perception, impeding pattern recognition, confusing the visual cortex. But I cannot describe how these defenses work, much less how they evolve, without studying a live specimen.
Yes, it makes perfect sense. You're beginning to suspect there's something paranatural about this phasmid. A ghost insect, he said? These people are looking for a ghost.
Ghost insect, so you are ghost hunters.
No, that is precisely what we're not. We are zoological specialists, looking for an extant species of phasmid.
How big is this phasmid?
I'm expecting it to be quite giant. One known species of phasmid, called the Megaphasmodea zoensis, is about the size of a grown man's forearm. So,
He leaves the conclusion up to you. What have you discovered about it so far?
Very little, I'm sorry to say. No one's ever captured a specimen, so all our information is based on first and third-hand accounts.
So, no one's ever found one?
Not yet. That's what makes it a cryptid.
Just out of curiosity, if there's no proof of its existence, how do you know it's real?
I know it's real.
The cryptozoologist says, brusquely enough that even he seems taken aback by it.
It's clear that his obsession with the phasmid is driven by something more than the pure pursuit of scientific advancement.
By which I mean, I've heard enough first-hand accounts to believe quite firmly that the Insulindian phasmid is more than mere superstition.
What would it be like to grasp and hold onto something you think is next to you, or just behind you, like a trace of vapor you exhaled one spring morning as a child? This is what he's searching for. A spectre.
Lena said there has been a sighting of it here in Martinez.
Yes, the most recent sighting was by a couple of teenagers along the coast here. That's what brought us to Martinez specifically. It's the first credible sighting in several decades. Admittedly, It's an unusual location for this species, but with all the sewage runoff upstream, it probably doesn't matter much anymore.
Maybe the insulindian phasmid has died out.
I have to resist the thought. Such an extraordinary creature is doubtlessly highly resilient. After all, it's generally thought to be capable of parthenogenesis.
He means asexual reproduction. The females of the species don't need to mate to produce viable eggs. This makes it easier for a species with a small population to survive.
That's pretty clever. Females reproducing without males. A travesty, a crime against passion and common sense. This arouses no special feelings in me.
And it shouldn't. Nature does not concern herself with ethical propositions. As a scientist, my interest is strictly dispassionate.
Lena seems pretty eager for you to return.
And I'm eager to return to her, I assure you. But I can't leave before we finish with these traps. My wife understands that just as well as anyone.
He looks south, where Lena would be.
Come on, Morell. We've been soaking out here for days. It's time to go back.
And leave the traps? Absolutely not. I won't let Lena down.
Come on, she wants us back. I'm soaked up to my nuts over here. We'll both catch reed crabs if we don't dry out soon.
Won't let Lena down? Sounds like the cryptozoologist's wife shares a special connection to the phasmid somehow.
I didn't know the phasmid was so important to Lena.
Of course it's important to her. She's seen it. A verified sighting, on record. One of only 4 this century, and it's hers.
Really? She sighted the phasmid. She didn't tell me that.
Yes. That's how we first came to know one another, in fact. But that's her story to tell, not mine.
I hope that it's not a case where she lied about seeing that phasmid, so she would be seemed more interesting to Morell.
Needless to say, you must ask her about the mysterious phasmid.
Suffice to say, it's long been our dream to find proof of the Insulindian phasmid together. I can't abandon course now.
Maybe you could go back to the Whirling, warm up, come back to check the traps later. You should just give up on this bug hunt. Okay, I understand. I don't give up on things either.
Good. A good quality to have. Both for a police officer and an experimental zoologist.
I will get going. Yeah, it's getting late for me, as usual, so I'm about to finish this episode almost. These soggy logs smell of ignition fluids. They won't light up.
That patch of reeds over there, it's a great place to hide something. Kind of out of the way, being so close to the water.
What is this about?
Nothing. Just a hunch. The hunch passes, leaving you there, by the old buoy bobbing in the water. Time to go.
I think this might be the spot where I can take that Lillian girl. A buoy bobs in the water. The number on it says 11. It's almost impossible to get a fire going this near to the ocean. These heavy military blockades are riddled with bullet holes crumbling. What is that? Alright. Rust-eaten letters read Mazout. The rear tire of a motor carriage adorns these reeds. Quick travel unlocked. Church. Why does this not work? Weird. Okay, I think I'm gonna go back to the corpse and then try the perception check again, and if I fail, I will end the episode right there. I don't have anything that upgrades my perception, right? But I had these sunglasses that reduce my perception. Fucking hell. Take them off. What is that? The flashlight casts a strange shadow. There is a hidden doorway here. Huh? What the hell? Two rusty rifles are hidden above the piping. They look inoperable.
A few bricks have fallen off, revealing a compartment behind the wall. It's too dark to see in.
Where are we? Look around the secret room.
Seems like an old bunker from the revolutionary period. Look at all those rifles. Must be an old weapons cache.
Look, there's a hole in the wall. Shine light on the hidden compartment.
There is, yes. And there also appears to be something inside the hole. Interesting. Do you want to take a look?
Okay, I do.
Your hand reaches deep into darkness and spiderwebs. Rummaging around, you find rusty rifles hidden away.
A rifle scheme.
Are these any good?
Inspect the rifles.
Most of them are rusty and inoperable, like the rest, but one catches your eye. A bolt-action model with a fine wood stock, in better cosmetic order than the others. Take it. You're a police officer. Police officers carry guns.
This one looks nice. Take the rifle.
That's a rare sight. Seems to no longer be functional, but still a beautiful thing in its own way.
What does this mean, a rifle here?
It means there are firearms, albeit inoperable, still lying around in Martinez. It's an interesting coincidence, I would say. Might come in useful in the future.
He likes this find.
Antique Belle-Magrave rifle. A broken Belle-Magrave from ages past. It's a 4-shot, bolt-action military rifle with a wooden frame. I wonder if I can fix it somehow. And then shoot someone with it. Maybe I could have shot the corpse down with this rifle if I can repair it somehow, and that would give me more accuracy than Kim's gun. I guess me having regular perception just made me see this room that I couldn't see before, so upgrading my perception so far yields me good results. Someone has stuck some busted guns beneath the ceiling. Alright. I'm not gonna wear these sunglasses for now then. Maybe I can use these ones for now. And now my drama in total is 19, which I don't like actually. That's fine.
A thick layer of coal dust The bear's eyes are still glowing red. It's guarding over the freezing corpse hidden inside its belly.
Oh.
You touched the dead man's body.
It'll come to you sooner or later. At least he's safe here until...
Okay, it didn't work. Yeah, so... I'm done playing today. Yeah. Feeling too tired, but it was productive, I think. We finally are dealing with this corpse directly. So, yeah. And it's day 4 right now. I expected to not have Kim with me. I didn't know that we can freeze this corpse for further investigation, so I am curious how this will go. I hope that my perception check will be able to be finished, that I'm not gonna dump 5 more points for nothing. Yeah. So next time I will talk with cryptozoologists more and hopefully hear that tape and get more evidence for Hardy Boys and Klaasje. Yeah, so thanks for watching, and yeah, I'm done. Yeah, I'm just too tired. Man, yeah. Goodbye.